This is an art activity to go with the book Monet and the Waterlily Friends. In this book, we see Monet's beautiful water lily paintings, and we are going to recreate one of our own. You are going to need some crayons, and we're going to start off drawing the bridge first. We're going to use our green crayon, our dark green crayon, to draw the two curving lines for the bridge, and then in between those curving lines, we're going to add in some straight lines to make the railings along the bridge. Once you have added in these lines, then you're going to use that dark green crayon to go back and thicken up the lines. Then, using my light green crayon, I'm going to add in a little bit of some light green on the bridge as well. I also like to add in a little bit of some white in some areas. Since we are going to be adding in some watercolor to this, that is going to cause that white to pop out once we have that watercolor on our paper. Then I use a little bit of some black crayon to outline the top of the line and the side edge, that right side along the bridge, just so I can see those different spaces on the bridge's railing. Then I'm going to use my dark green crayon to add in some of these squiggly lines like vines hanging down from the different trees that are around my bridge. So I'm just using my green crayon to thicken up those lines and add in as many vines as I would like coming down off the page. I chose to add in 5 of those squiggly vine lines. And at the bottom of the page, I'm going to use my green crayon to add in some grass details just by creating these little bush-like areas using my green crayon in some straight up and down lines. And then I also like to layer some of the light green onto the grass as well. And once I am finished with the light green, I'm then going to go ahead and draw in my water lilies. I'm going to use my dark green crayon first to add in these oval shapes under the bridge to create my water lilies. You can scatter them around or layer them if you want. As our water lilies start to go back, they need to get smaller. So as we move away from the bottom of the page and as we go closer to the top of the page, you're going to want to draw your ovals just a little bit smaller. Then we are going to go back and color in our water lilies using our light green crayon. And then I'm going to go back with my dark green crayon to color in a little bit of some dark green on top of where I added the light green on my water lilies. And after the lilies are done, we are going to draw in the flowers on the water lilies. Begin with a curving line and a zigzag line on the top to create your water lily flowers. And you can create these flowers with any color you like. I'm going to scatter around a couple of different colors for my water lily flowers. And I'm going to color them in with the same color that I outlined them with, except for I'm going to add a little bit of yellow into the center of each flower. For those smaller water lilies that we added that went further away from the bottom of the page, you do not have to add yellow into those. You can just color those water lily flowers in solid with one color. Then I'm going to use my white crayon to add in some water detailing lines, and then it's time to do our watercolor. Use a wet paper towel to run that over your entire page to wet the whole paper. It won't smudge your crayons around since your crayons are wax-based and wax and water don't react together. Then we're going to start painting in our water in our picture. I'm going to use a combination of blue, purple, and green, and I also have some salt on hand if I would like to sprinkle a little bit of salt on my water as well to give it that watercolor look and that water effect. And you can see my white crayon lines popping through the more I add my watercolor paints. Once you have completed your watercolor, you want to let your picture completely dry. Once it is dried, then you can go back with your crayons and you can go back over the different parts of your picture and you can make those areas pop out more. Such as my bridge here, I'm going back over it with some of my dark green and my dark blue, and I'm going to use a little bit of black as well just to make each piece of my bridge stand out so I can see it a little better now that I have all that watercolor in the background. Finish adding in any details you would like to complete your water lily picture.